Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling something that, well, it looks incredibly simple on the surface, but I think it actually holds, layers of strategic wisdom.
Hmm.
Our deep dive today comes from a source that's, well, really concise. Very potent, though. Excerpts from The Art of Blending In.
Right. Not a long read, this one.
Not at all. Now, this isn't some hefty research paper, like you said.
Yeah.
It's really just a few powerful words. It boils down to this. Blend in, AA. Don't stand out in the wrong way. Fit in when needed.
That's it, the core insight.
Just that single distilled idea. But here's what really grabbed me and why I thought we had to dig into it. How can a statement that's short offer such, well, profound guidance for navigating our world? It almost feels like there's a secret code hidden in there.
It absolutely does feel that way. And honestly, that's precisely why it's such a valuable insight, especially if you're looking to get informed quickly about, say, social dynamics. Because this isn't just, basic common sense. It's distilled, actionable wisdom. So our mission for this deep dive really is to unpack the strategic layers, the ones embedded within this seemingly simple advice. We want to show its immense practical value.
Okay.
We want to show you, the listener, how this concise bit of wisdom is actually a shortcut to understanding a really vital interpersonal skill.
Okay, so let's unpack this then. When the source says blend in, my gut reaction, and I bet a lot of listeners feel this too, is just, disappear. Don't make waves.
Fade into the wallpaper.
Exactly.
Right.
But is that really the core of this wisdom? Or is there something more active, maybe even strategic, like you said, than just fading out?
You've hit the crucial distinction right off the bat. Blending in, at least as it's presented here in The Art of Blending In, it isn't about becoming invisible or losing your unique identity. Actually, it's quite the opposite in a way. It's about conscious adaptation. It's about situational awareness.
Conscious adaptation.
Yeah, think of it less like passively fading away and more like a deliberate, active choice you make. It means intentionally adjusting how you present yourself. Maybe that's your communication style, maybe it's your demeanor, your clothes, even how assertive you are.
Right.
To align with a specific environment or a specific group. It's really about being present and effective within that context, not just sort of absent or unnoticed passively. So yeah, it implies a very high degree of intentionality. It's a calculated decision.
So it's less about being a chameleon just to hide and more like being a strategist, adapting to observe maybe, or to integrate or even to disarm a situation.
Precisely. That adds so much more depth, doesn't it?
It really does. It's about intentional presence, which, okay, brings us to the next fascinating part of this insight. Don't stand out in the wrong way. That word wrong is interesting. My mind immediately jumps to, like, is this about being politically correct?
Yeah.
Or just avoiding offense?
Yeah, that's a natural first thought.
But I suspect the source is hinting at something more strategic, maybe even more self-serving, than just a moral judgment. What does wrong really imply here?
You're absolutely right to question the wrong, because it's definitely not a moral judgment in this specific context.
Okay.
When the source talks about standing out in the wrong way, it's referring to actions or presentations that are, well, counterproductive. Counterproductive to your own goals, or maybe counterproductive to the smooth functioning of a situation or group you're part of. It's purely a strategic assessment of impact.
Okay, example.
Sure. Imagine you're at a very, let's say, a formal industry dinner. The goal there is probably quiet networking, building professional relationships. Right.
Keep it low key.
Exactly. Now, if you show up wearing, I don't know, neon green, or maybe worse, you start dominating every conversation with super aggressive sales pitches.
Oh yeah, cringe.
Right. You definitely stand out. But it would be like showing up to a chess match with a hockey stick. You've brought the wrong tool for the game.
Yeah.
And you're actively hindering your own objectives for being there in the first place.
Makes total sense.
So that kind of standing out could involve creating friction you don't need, or becoming a distraction when focus is needed elsewhere, or disrupting norms without any positive intent, or even alienating people when you actually need their cooperation. It's about recognizing when your presence or your actions are creating an unintended negative effect, an effect that works against your own interests, or maybe against the collective good of that situation. It's about being effective, not just, being noticed for anything.
That hockey stick example really drives it home. It's about efficacy, impact, not just blending for the sake of blending.
Exactly.
So, okay, if we know what blending in is, this active adaptation idea, and why we'd avoid standing out to prevent those counterproductive outcomes, that brings us to what feels like the real game changer in this wisdom.
Yeah.
Fit in when needed.
Yes.
That when needed part. That feels like the ultimate strategic lever, doesn't it? It sort of implies there are times when you shouldn't blend in too.
Absolutely. That phrase, when needed, that's the linchpin. It's what elevates this advice from just like simple conformity to genuine strategic thinking.
Right.
It absolutely underscores the strategic and intentional nature of blending in. It signals that this is a tool, right? A tool to be deployed purposefully,
Okay.
not just a constant state of being. Needed points to a specific context or a specific objective.
Like what?
Well, it could be a goal you're trying to achieve. Maybe information you need to gather quietly, a relationship you're trying to build from the ground up, a conflict you want to de-escalate maybe, or even just a basic level of acceptance you need to foster within a new group. For instance, let's say you're joining a new team at work. Fitting in when needed might mean initially you adopt their communication style, maybe their internal jargon.
Yeah, learn the ropes first.
Exactly, to build rapport, show respect for how they do things. I once saw someone come into a new role, really high energy, and immediately try to shake everything up. Day one, all these innovative ideas, completely disregarding the established team dynamics. Now, the ideas themselves weren't necessarily bad, but the approach, it just alienated the existing members.
So the ideas went nowhere.
Pretty much nowhere, yeah. They stood out all right, but absolutely in a counterproductive way, didn't fit in when it was needed at the start.
So the idea is to integrate first, maybe observe, build some trust. And then perhaps when the time is right and it's needed for a different reason, you shift gears.
Precisely. It's a calculated choice. You choose to integrate for a specific purpose. Doing that creates an optimal environment where you can, like you said, observe, learn, gain trust, contribute effectively later on.
Or just avoid being the nail that sticks up.
Right. Avoid being an immediate target of scrutiny, which might just derail your longer-term objectives. And crucially, it explicitly gives you permission not to fit in when it's not needed.
That's key too.
Or when your actual purpose calls for you to stand out, but in a productive, impactful way. It's about being almost surgical with your presence, choosing your moments.
Wow. Okay, that completely reframes it for me. It's not about losing yourself at all. It's about choosing your moments, choosing your tools. So for you, the listener, thinking about this, what does this all mean? How do these pieces, avoiding standing out in the wrong way and choosing to fit in when needed, how do they work together as a cohesive, pretty powerful strategy? How does this get us beyond just, reading the room?
Well, what's truly fascinating here, I think, is that the art of blending in, when you unpack it like this, it isn't about a lack of individuality. It's not a call for passive conformity.
Right.
Instead, it's describing a sophisticated form of strategic adaptation.
Okay.
It's about empowering you, the listener, to cultivate a really high degree of situational awareness and then make intentional, deliberate choices. Choices about your presentation, your communication, your actions, all to maximize your effectiveness.
In different situations.
Exactly. Across all sorts of diverse social and professional landscapes. Think of it like having an expanded toolkit for, let's say, intelligent engagement with the world. You're not just being passively shaped by your environment.
You're doing the shaping, or choosing not to shape deliberately.
Precisely. You're actively choosing when and how to blend in or not to achieve your specific goals.
And that's such a critical distinction, isn't it?
Right.
It really empowers the individual to act with purpose. It's about navigating these complex interactions, understanding the subtle power of sometimes integrating, sometimes not, and reaching your objectives by being observed or understood or maybe even overlooked at exactly the right moments for maximum impact down the line.
Yes.
It's an active, chosen skill, not just a passive reaction.
Exactly right. This isn't something that just happens to you. It's something you actively do. It's an invaluable tool, really, in your interpersonal toolkit for effective, intelligent engagement with the world around you. It allows you to be a more deliberate and ultimately a more impactful participant in almost any scenario.
So the true art of blending in, it isn't really about conformity at all. It's about agency.
Absolutely. Agency is the perfect word.
It's about that deliberate, calculated choice to adapt your presence, to strategically avoid making counterproductive noise, and to purposefully integrate sometimes. Also, you can achieve your specific goals with, greater ease and impact.
It provides clarity, doesn't it, on when to step forward and be seen, and when maybe it's better to just observe, ensuring your efforts are always actually aligned with your objectives.
Okay, so here's something for you, the listener, to think about. Consider a situation in your own life this week. Could be a meeting, could be a social gathering, maybe a new challenge you're facing where understanding this art of blending in might actually help you navigate it more effectively. When might you strategically choose not to stand out in the wrong way? Or actively choose to fit in because it's needed right then?
Yeah, and this raises that important final question, really. How might this simple yet profound piece of wisdom reshape your approach to your next important interaction? How could it help you achieve your goals with perhaps a little more ease and a lot more impact?